Andy, the world and his dog are into vampires.
True.
However, I have a soft spot for vampire slayers.
Mm-hmm.
And in this box set, we have Van Helsing and his crew
The
of
most
vampire
famous vampire slayers.
So we'll crack it open, and in the meantime, can you tell me a little bit about Van Helsing's faction?
Van Helsing's faction is based on the characters from the book Dracula. So it covers all the main characters from the book Dracula. They're on the good side, and obviously you don't get the evil guys.
Yeah. What kind of way did they play in game? Are they a close combat-y?
They are pretty close combat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them are combat sort of orientated, apart from the two women and not Dr. Seward. This guy, Lord Godalming.
Yeah.
Who has a rule it's called Riches Croesus, which means he can buy things in the game. You know,
Yeah.
So whereby you normally have a faction limit on the amount of money you've got in the game. He's kind of got unlimited resources, so you can buy tons of cool stuff. Yeah.
I have to ask though, it's in a game of Empire of the Dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they only good against vampires, or are they good against anything?
They're a pretty good faction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a standalone faction in their own right. It wouldn't really matter what my opponent was playing. I'd be able to.
against a werewolf faction or somebody, a Dark Fire Club faction, something like that. They'd be pretty powerful.
Well, let's kick off with Van Helsing himself. Here he is, holding up his crucifix, clutching his. I can only assume it's a vampire killing book of dread. So,
it's a big Bible.
The model has a backpack at the rear and the whole cape and cloak thing going on with the boots. The face details are lovely. You can even make out the very eye patch on the model itself. Next up, you'll know this guy from the Dracula stories.
Quincy.
This is Quincy, and he's carrying it must
Winchester.
be a Winchester.
It
Yeah,
is a Winchester
repeater.
rifle and a big knife.
Fantastic detail to the cloak at the back. So all that shading and stuff that you can do on that would just make him
he's wearing like an
completely stand
American
out.
cowboy duster jacket. Yeah.
And kind of a Stetson on his head. Here we have the Lord
Godalming,
with his unlimited resources. That's quite interesting, actually, what he brings to the table. So, what kind of things can he buy, though?
They can buy things like automobiles and things like that. Which help in the game. Yeah, it gives you an advantage.
So he's carrying a revolver and a lantern, which, if you go vampire hunting, is an absolute must, I'm told. One of the lovely details is on his coat. He has kind of like a fur cuffs on the coat, and you can even make out all the little indents of the fur right around the cuff. So it's going to be a nice standout piece, and that same fur texture, if we can see here, goes right up and around the neck.
The
collar of the coat. So, on to, is this Harker?
Jonathan Harker.
There's Jonathan himself. Now Jonathan is carrying a kind of like a oil lamp, and I'm assuming a small Bible there in his hand, is it?
Yeah, well, it might be a document from Dracula.
One of the letters.
Yeah. Dear sir, please report for neck biting.
So, on this one of the particular details I'd like to point out is on the waistcoat, there's even what looks like a watch chain. Pocket watch chain there. So, and he's got an amazing beard.
Yeah, Jonathan's not a particularly strong character in the faction.
No,
he's not particularly strong.
Okay, here we have
Dr. Seward.
Dr. Stewart with his medical bag and all the details and the finery of the medical coat, and it looks like a stethoscope hanging out of his pocket.
Yeah.
Mm. There's some great wee tiny details on these that they just
They get a little bit of character
they just
to them.
pop.
Yeah.
So they do. And then on to the two ladies. So first up,
That's Mina.
We have
Mina Harker.
Mina. And now, what can the ladies do? She's got beautiful ruffling right down the back of her dress there.
She has a power called, I think it's called Undying Love,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like a vampire lure kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she can kind of attract vampires to her, which is probably not a good power to have.
Well, it's a good power if you have a bunch of people that can deal
shoot
with vampires.
him. Yeah.
And then this is Lucy.
Yeah, we see Westenra.
Mm-hmm. And here you can see the creases in the cape where it's being gripped by Lucy's hands. The details are fabulous on this, actually. You know, even the very fingers coming right the way around the actual cape of the dress, and her neck very
Swan-like.
yes, raised and exposed, ready for Dracula. So as a faction, what kind of player is it other than me? Is that going to appeal to then? Is it?
It's more, it appeals to people who like the Gothic kind of thing. You know, traditional. We wanted to do some factions that were pulled straight out of the books kind of thing. So, because we already have like a vampire hunting gentleman's club kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is more traditional, where you can just build it up. But this has all the named people.
Yeah.
The actual thing. So I think that's kind of where it appeals to people.
So even if you're just a collector of things that are Dracula, it's a great thing to pick up. Yeah. Well, if you're interested, the rules for this faction are in the PDF.
They are,
that has just been released. So go and check that out, and you can get a feel for the Van Helsing and his compadres.